Hey, what's going on? You know who it is. You know what it is. All right, you guys, peep game. I decided to put this video together because at the end of the day, I'm a fair guy. I call stuff right down the middle, and I'll try to have interesting discussions, on my channel. Sometimes I try to go directions that other people don't go because I try to, be different from other people. So let's have this discussion. As you guys know, we're about 3 weeks away from the showdown between Spence and Manny Pacquiao. Maybe 3 weeks and some change. Yeah, we'll say 3 weeks and some change. So, with that being said, this is going to be a great fight. Manny Pacquiao is training his ass off. Now, I will say this much about Manny Pacquiao. This is just real talk. People can take it however they want. I'm not in favor of Manny Pacquiao doing these public, workouts and runs with people, and you already know why, for obvious reasons. Because if something happens and Manny Pacquiao can't go on with this fight, when I say all hell is going to break loose, and at the end of the day, it's funny how the media ain't talking about this as well. But I'll put this out there. I may do a solo video talking about this, and then maybe I'll just leave things the way they is. But at the end of the day, we're going to assume there's going to be a big fight, and 3 weeks and some change, or maybe less than 3 weeks, whatever you want to call it. So I have to say this is just real talk. Let's just put this out there. This is going to make a great argument for PBC apologists, Spence apologists. Now, like I said, I don't have no problem with Spence. I really don't. I don't like how his team has, behaved when it came to making this Terrence Crawford fight, because they've been very consistent, or should I say consistently inconsistent, about making this fight or not making this fight. But I will say this much. If Spence goes in there and dominates Manny Pacquiao and alone stops him, at the end of the day, Spence is in the pound for pound #1 discussion. Because if he, at least until Canelo and Bud fights, you can make an argument that Spence is the #1 pound for pound fighter if he defeats, dominates, and stops Manny Pacquiao. Now, if it's a life and death battle and Spence barely, survives, or he wins controversial decision, or if it's a draw, then Spence still stays in the top 3, because arguably he is in the top 3. Inoue, whatever you want to call him, no way, shape, or form is he in the top 3, top 5 pound per pound discussion. And like I said before, you're not going to force feed this guy on us. He's very good, but he is at least 3 to 4 fights away before we can anoint him a top 5, top 3 pound per pound fighter. He's getting up there. He's very impressive so far, but he still has a long way to go. But let's talk about Spence. Spence is established himself. He's in that discussion for real. Now Spence haven't had a knockout in his past few fights, but at the end of the day, he's won in dominant fashion. He pretty much dominated Danny Garcia. I had him winning, I think, maybe 9 rounds to 3. Worst case scenario, 8 rounds to 4. I think he won pretty much every round versus Mikey Garcia. He had a life and death fight with Sean Porter that I think if it wasn't for the knockdown, Sean Porter possibly wins that fight or gets a draw. Keep in mind, he won split decision. Okay, so, but if he can go in there, establish himself, dominate Manny Pacquiao, and stop him, then, yeah, Spence is officially in the argument for pound for pound. And I know people going to say, well, this is an old Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao hasn't fought 2 years. Hey, at the end of the day, Manny signed his name on the contract, and I'm not going to let you get away with that, because at the end of the day, Bernard Hopkins fought effectively till he was damn near 50. Keep in mind, the reason why Sergey Kovalev got, elevated to arguably pound for pound status was the way he dominated Bernard Hopkins. So we have to keep it a buck to a certain degree. Manny Pacquiao has, he hasn't fought in 2 years, but at the end of the day, he defeated a undefeated Keith Thurman. Even though you can make an argument about Keith Thurman has been injury prone the past 4 years, and that Manny Pacquiao didn't get Keith Thurman at 100%. But nevertheless, I thought Keith Thurman won the fight, but nevertheless, Manny Pacquiao won split decision. You know? So at the end of the day, we can't change the narrative. You know, Manny Pacquiao has the biggest name, you know, right now. He was once a former pound-for-pound #1 fighter. So if Errol Spence goes in there and dominates Manny Pacquiao and he retires Manny Pacquiao, because keep in mind, Manny is still fighting, because he think he can still fight at a high level. Because on the flip side, people are saying if Manny Pacquiao defeats Errol Spence, then arguably he's the GOAT. So why can't we say if Errol Spence dominates and stops Manny Pacquiao that he isn't arguably the #1 pound-for-pound fighter? Like I said, I like to put this stuff out. Now, keep in mind, there's going to be people that's going to bite, and they're not going to give me credit. That's fine. That's fine. But I promise you, there are going to be people that's going to follow suit and start arguing this point after hearing this video. A lot of people watch my stuff and they don't give me credit. But that's fine. Don't care about it. Because I know when people start making these videos, I know who was the source and who it came from. I promise you that. But, yeah. I will officially say if Errol Spence dominates and stops Manny Pacquiao, he is at least in the #1 pound-for-pound discussion if he pulls this off. Real talk. Let me know what you think. This your boy Town Biz. I'm out.